back to Declutter Revolution. Can you believe we're down to the last 60 days of the year? Somehow it always sneaks up on us, the holidays, the to-do lists, the mess that just won't stay gone. And before you know it, you're running on empty, looking around your home thinking, how did I get here again? But here's the truth. 60 days is more than enough time to reset. Not to reinvent your life, just to shift it. To make space to feel lighter, and to end this year proud of how far you've come. So today, we're doing a 60-day fall lock-in, a calm, focused reset for your space, your routines, and your mindset. 10 small but powerful changes that help you finish strong and start the new year clear. Yesterday, we talked about how clutter quietly drains your energy. Well, today we're turning that awareness into action, starting right where you are, no waiting for January. If you've been craving a clean slate before the year ends, this is the moment to start. Let's get into it. First, let's start with your space because your environment quietly shapes everything you do. You know those mornings when you want to work out, but your mat is buried somewhere in the closet, or you sit down to get something done, but your desk is a mess and your brain just shuts down. That's not a lack of motivation. That's a cluttered setup working against you. Your space can either drain you or carry you. And the truth is, it's so much easier to follow through when your environment does half the work for you. So here's a small but powerful shift. Make your space match your intention. If you want to move your body more, leave your workout clothes where you'll see them in the morning, not folded away behind 5 drawers. If you're trying to drink more water, keep a glass or bottle right where you make your coffee. If your goal is to read before bed, clear the nightstand and leave the book open to your page. Make it impossible to ignore what matters. These small cues tell your brain, this is who I am now. This is what we do here. They turn effort into ease. When I first started decluttering, I didn't realize how much my setup was sabotaging me. My yoga mat was in the back of a closet. My vitamins were behind a stack of mugs. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that everything I wanted was hidden under things I didn't, so I flipped it. Now the things that move me forward are visible. The things that don't, they stay out of sight or out of the house. That simple change made everything easier. I stopped relying on motivation because my space started reminding me who I wanted to be. And when your environment supports you following through, stops feeling like a fight, it starts feeling natural. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but where do I even start decluttering when everything feels like too much? That's exactly what we'll talk about next time. How to choose the right starting point so you don't waste energy on the wrong things. It's one of those mindset shifts that completely changes how you see your stuff. And once you get it, you'll never declutter the same way again. Trust me, you won't want to miss that one. Now that your space finally feels lighter, it's time to get clear on what you actually want these next 60 days to mean. Let's talk about setting goals that feel real, not perfect. Let's move on to the second thing I want you to focus on getting clear. Now that your space finally feels lighter, let's talk about something most people skip: clarity. We all say we want a better routine, a calmer home, or more energy, but those words are too blurry. They sound nice, but your brain doesn't know what to do with them. And that's why you keep losing momentum. You're chasing something you can't even see. So let's make it simple. Ask yourself, what does better look like for me just for the next 60 days? Not forever, just this season. If you could only make progress in one area that would make everything else feel easier, what would it be? Maybe it's clearing the kitchen counters so cooking doesn't feel like a battle. Maybe it's committing to 15 minutes of movement each day to feel stronger and more awake. Or maybe it's reclaiming your mornings 10 quiet minutes before everyone else wakes up. Write it down. Somewhere you'll see it every day on a sticky note, your planner, the back of your phone. Because once your goal has a name, your brain starts building a path toward it. When I first started doing this, I made the classic mistake. I wrote down everything I wanted to fix. Declutter the garage, organize the photos, drink more water, sleep better, run again. It looked inspiring for 5 minutes, and then completely overwhelming. So now I only set one focus goal for each 60-day stretch. It's enough to build momentum, but not enough to burn out. And that's what I want for you too. Progress that feels doable, not draining. Because when your goal is clear and grounded, every small action starts to make sense. You stop asking, am I doing enough? And start feeling I'm exactly where I need to be. The truth is, big goals don't change your life, your daily habits do. And that's exactly what we'll shift into next. Now let's dive into the third thing, and honestly, it's what keeps most people going. If setting big goals feels heavy, start with habits instead. Because sometimes the gap between where you are and where you want to be just feels too big. And that's okay. You don't have to reach for a finish line right away, you just need to start moving in the right direction. A goal says I want to lose 10 pounds. A habit says I'll take a walk after dinner. A goal says I want to declutter my home. A habit says I'll clear one drawer tonight while I watch Netflix. See the difference? Goals live in the future. Habits happen now. And when you focus on what you can do today, you start building quiet evidence that you can trust yourself again. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in 60. The magic isn't in huge change, it's in the tiny, boring, repeatable things that tell your brain I follow through. When I started my own 60-day reset, I stopped promising myself big outcomes like I'll finally get my whole house organized. Instead, I made one rule: every night I'll reset the kitchen before bed. Not deep cleaning, just clear the counters, wipe the sink lights off. It takes 5 minutes, but it completely changes how I feel the next morning. That one habit became my anchor, and it did more for my peace than any massive to-do list ever could. So whatever your 60-day goal is, health, home, or headspace, shrink it down to something that feels laughably doable. Something so small, you almost roll your eyes at it. Because that's where consistency lives, not in motivation, but in momentum. And once those small habits start to ground you, we'll take it a step further, learning how to use micro habits to keep that motivation alive even when life gets messy. Next up, we'll cover the fourth thing, the small but mighty trick that keeps you moving when motivation fades. Even the best habits can fall apart when life gets hectic. You skip a workout, forget your nightly reset, or let the laundry pile up again and suddenly that little voice whispers, "See, you never stick with it." But progress isn't about perfection. It's about keeping the momentum alive. That's where micro habits come in. They're the tiniest actions that still count. So small they almost feel silly, yet they work because your brain loves quick wins. If working out feels impossible, just lace up your shoes and walk to the end of the block. If decluttering feels too big, set a 5-minute timer and clear one drawer. If journaling feels heavy, jot down one line about your day. Each micro habit is proof that you're still showing up. Every small win tells your brain I can trust myself. And that quiet confidence builds faster than any burst of motivation ever could. When I was rebuilding my morning routine, I stopped trying to claim a full hour of quiet time. I started with 1 minute, literally 60 seconds of sitting on the edge of my bed, eyes closed, breathing. And the funny thing, that 1 minute often stretched into 10, then 15 without pushing. Once you start, your mind wants to keep going. So instead of waiting for motivation to show up, make starting effortless. Because action, even tiny action, always creates more energy than waiting does. Once you've learned how to build momentum with these micro habits, the next step is learning how to protect that energy by cutting the stress and clutter that quietly pulls you backward. In the next section, we'll address the fifth thing and maybe the most important one for your peace. Because no matter how strong your habits are, stress will undo them if you let clutter keep whispering at you. You know that feeling walking past the same pile of laundry every day, or that one messy corner that instantly tightens your chest? It's not just stuff. It's noise. And the more noise around you, the harder it is to stay calm, focused, or motivated. Here's what I've learned. Stress rarely comes from one big thing. It comes from 100 tiny unfinished things that your brain is trying to track all at once. The half-folded clothes, the unopened emails, the sticky note reminders, the dishes you meant to put away. Every time your eyes land on them, your mind whispers, "You still haven't handled that." That mental clutter costs energy you could be using to take care of yourself, your family, or your dreams. So instead of trying to declutter your whole house, start with your top 3 stress points. Ask yourself, what makes me sigh every time I see it? Maybe it's the counter full of papers. Maybe it's your overstuffed inbox. Maybe it's your schedule saying yes to things that drain you. Choose one and clear it, not perfectly, just enough that you feel the pressure ease. Because the goal isn't a spotless home. It's a space that doesn't argue with you. I used to think I was just bad at managing stress. But once I started clearing those small, high-impact areas, the kitchen counter, my phone notifications, the corner of my bedroom, my energy shifted. I could breathe again. And suddenly, I had more capacity for the things that actually mattered. A calmer space creates a calmer mind, and when your stress goes down, your consistency goes up. That's how you protect your progress, by freeing yourself from the silent weight of what's unfinished. Once you've cleared that mental and physical noise, the next step is learning how to take care of the person behind it, all you. To keep going, let's discuss the 6th thing, and it might be the one we forget most often. You can't declutter your home, build habits, or stay consistent if you're running on empty. And yet, so many of us treat self-care like it's a reward for finishing everything else instead of what allows us to keep going. Here's the truth. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's strategic. Because when your mind and body are supported, your energy naturally follows and everything else becomes easier to manage. Start simple. Drink water before your coffee. Stretch for 2 minutes before you grab your phone in the morning. Step outside for fresh air between tasks. Little things that tell your body, I'm on my side. When I was deep in my own decluttering season, I used to push through exhaustion, telling myself I'll rest when it's done. But done never came. So now I build in small pauses on purpose. A slow breakfast, a quiet shower with no phone, a short walk after work. And funny enough, those tiny acts of rest help me get more done with less resistance. Because self-care isn't about spa days or bubble baths. It's about creating enough space for your mind to breathe so your motivation can grow back. You don't need more discipline, you need more compassion. When you take care of yourself first, your focus sharpens, your energy lasts longer, and you stop treating your life like something to survive and start treating it like something to live in. And once you've built that foundation of calm and energy, the next step is learning to protect it by setting boundaries that keep your time and attention safe. To continue, let's discuss the 7th thing, and it's the quiet key that holds everything else together. Because it doesn't matter how many routines you build if everyone and everything keeps interrupting them. Boundaries aren't walls, they're guardrails. They keep your focus, your peace, and your energy from slipping away. Most women I know, myself included, struggle here the most. We say yes when we're already exhausted. We stretch one more hour, take on more tasks, and join one more chat. And suddenly, there's nothing left for us. If that sounds familiar, here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Protecting your time isn't selfish. It's stewardship. Because when you protect your energy, you show up better for your family, your work, and yourself. Start small. Decide in advance what deserves your yes. Maybe you turn off notifications after 8 p.m. Maybe you keep one evening a week just for your reset laundry planning or doing nothing at all. Maybe you stop explaining why you can't make it and simply say, not this time. I used to overcommit constantly, coffee dates, extra work projects, endless texts. It felt kind, but it was quietly draining. So I began saying no to anything that made me feel resentful later. And something amazing happened. The space that opened up started filling with peace. I realized boundaries aren't about cutting people off. They're about creating room for what really matters. If you want your 60-day plan to work, you have to protect it. Don't let your focus be hijacked by every urgent thing that isn't truly important, because peace requires protection. And once you learn how to protect your time, the next step is to make the journey feel lighter by celebrating every small win along the way. Here's the 8th thing, and maybe the most overlooked reason people lose momentum. We wait until everything looks done to feel proud. The full house decluttered. I lost weight. The routine was perfected. But real change happens in the in-between, in the tiny, ordinary wins that no one claps for. Because your brain doesn't run on willpower, it runs on reward. When you pause to celebrate small progress, you tell your mind, "This matters. Keep going." That's how consistency grows, not through pressure, but through encouragement. So instead of asking, "Did I finish everything?" start asking, "What went right today?" You cleared one counter. That's a win. You walked around the block even though you didn't feel like it. That's a win. You shut down your phone early and rested. Huge win. These micro celebrations can be so simple. A quiet moment of gratitude before bed. Checking off a box on your habit tracker. Enjoying your coffee slowly after finishing your morning routine. You're not rewarding productivity, you're acknowledging growth. I used to brush off my own progress, saying things like, "It's just one drawer." But the moment I started celebrating those little steps, everything shifted. I stopped chasing the end result and started enjoying the journey. And when the process feels good, it naturally becomes sustainable. So give yourself permission to feel proud today, not someday. Because every small victory is evidence that you're showing up for the life you want. And when celebration becomes part of your rhythm, staying committed through all 60 days feels a lot more natural, which is exactly what we'll talk about next. Here's the 9th thing, and it's the bridge between starting and actually changing. Anyone can begin a 60-day reset when motivation is high. But what really matters is what you do on the days you don't feel like it. Because there will be those days, the messy ones, the tired ones, the "I'll just skip it" ones. Commitment isn't about never falling off, it's about refusing to stay there when you do. You don't need to restart every time you miss a day. You don't even need to make up for lost time. You just need to keep moving forward one small next step at a time. When I first tried this kind of challenge, I used to restart every Monday. If I missed a workout or skipped a declutter session, I'd tell myself, "Well, I blew it, I'll start fresh next week." But all that did was train my brain to associate mistakes with quitting. So I stopped restarting. Now I just keep going even if it's messy, missed yesterday. That's okay. Do something tiny today. Progress isn't linear, but it's still progress. This is where grace meets discipline. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to stay in the game. Because when you finish something, you promised yourself, even imperfectly, it builds a quiet kind of confidence that can't be shaken. Think of these 60 days like a long walk. Some days you'll move quickly, others you'll crawl. But as long as you don't stop, you'll end up somewhere better than where you started. And once you learn to keep showing up for yourself, even through the dips, it becomes natural to want to see your progress, to track it, reflect on it, and feel proud of how far you've come. That's what we'll get into next. This is the 10th thing, and it's how you turn effort into evidence. Because change happens quietly. You won't always feel it day to day, and that's what makes tracking so powerful. When you can see your small steps adding up, it reminds you that your work is paying off even when it doesn't look dramatic. You don't need fancy charts or a color-coded planner. Just find one simple way to keep yourself aware of your progress. It could be a sticky note where you tick off each day you followed through, a habit tracker on your phone, or a journal where you write one sentence about what worked and what didn't. When I started my own 60-day lock-in, I kept a small notebook on my nightstand. Every evening, I'd write 3 things. One thing I did well, one thing I struggled with, and one thing I wanted to try differently tomorrow. It took 2 minutes, but it built awareness, not guilt. Reflection isn't about judging yourself. It's about understanding your rhythm, what drains you, what fuels you, what makes things flow easier. Because once you can see your patterns clearly, it's easier to adjust with kindness instead of criticism. And that's the real goal here: progress you can feel proud of, not progress that drains you. When you track it, you anchor it. You remind yourself, I'm building something real. So, as you head into these next 60 days, don't just do the work, document the journey. Because sometimes the proof you need that you're growing is already right there on the page. Now that we've gone through all 10 ways to make your 60-day reset work, I want to leave you with one final reminder before we wrap up. That's it, my friends. 10 simple ways to reset your next 60 days with more focus, calm, and confidence. You don't have to do them all at once. You just have to begin with one small step that feels possible today. If even one of these ideas helps your home feel lighter or your mind a little quieter, then that's already a win. Because change doesn't start with a huge plan. It starts with one gentle decision to do things differently. If you're craving more peace and less clutter, try one of these habits this week and see what shifts. And if you've ever stood in the middle of your home wondering, where do I even start? Stay close. Tomorrow we're diving into something that might just change the way you see your entire space. It's about finding your exact starting point, the place where real transformation begins. You'll want to be there for that one. If this video made you breathe a little easier, let me know by hitting like or share it with a friend who might need the same reminder. And don't forget to subscribe, because you deserve a home and a life that finally feels light again.